Hello, my friends. Welcome to the program. I am your host with the most and matchmaker dating coach, Cantrill. And did you notice? Okay, so the music's the same, the host is the same, but did you see some differences? Did you see that the name has changed of the show? So, welcome to Dear Matchmaker, my friends. And I want to explain to you how I came to this conclusion of changing the name of the podcast and the show, and how you can be involved, and how I'm going to start answering your questions here on Dear Matchmaker. Now, for those in my Gen X, possibly older generations, I know that you remember Dear Abby, right? Right. Well, this is kind of a reflection of Dear Abby, and we're calling it Dear Matchmaker. The content is going to be the same. So our goal here is to help you have an empowered dating life, to help you find your person faster. Our goal here is to continuously bring you amazing content, help and guide you on the journey of finding love by bringing guests, and for me, bringing more and more topics, awareness, things that can help you. But we're taking it a little step further. So when the agency opened back in January, before that, when I had launched my game show, more and more men and women were approaching me for advice, for guidance. And when the matchmaking really came to fruition and I opened up the agency in January, one of the things was very clear to me was that there are two different types of individuals that are involved when it comes to matchmaking: women and men. And more women have reached out to me asking me, why am I not in the dating world? Why am I not helping more and more men? And men have even asked, where do I find guidance? Where do I go? So here on our podcast, on our show, Dear Matchmaker, our goal is to help both men and women truly find love faster, to give them the necessary tools, to guide them, to help them find their person, the person that we all yearn, that every single yearns to come home to, someone that you wake up to for the rest of your life. And so I wanted this show to be a reflection of the agency, of the services that we offer, and to help you in a much bigger way. Because here, ultimately, the goal at Dear Matchmaker is to at least once a month bring topics and questions by you here on air, to have you submit your questions to me and to have me answer them, because I can bring a variety of different topics which are inspired by you. It's inspired by conversations that I have with you in my DMs and in my office. But I want this show to be more about the problems that you're currently facing, because here's the thing. If you're going through this, most likely there's another single who is also going through this, who's going to benefit from your question and benefit from my answer. And I want to build this more and more to where we not only am I helping you, but you are also helping each other. So we're going to take it by baby steps. So for Dear Matchmaker, if you have a question about your love life, about what's going on, it will always be done anonymously. And the goal ultimately is to possibly record some Zoom meetings that we have where you can come on and you can ask questions and I can answer them, and we'll broadcast them here. And eventually, again, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. Kat, I get ahead of myself. I'm a visionary. I see all the big picture and then I have to be like, nope, you got to take this in. But what can you do right now? So there's two different ways. You can either send me a direct message. You can send it to me on Instagram or Facebook at Kat Cantrill. You can email it to me, kat@theheartagency.com, or you can just go to theheartagency.com and go to our contact us and just fill out a form. And I would read your question here on air and I would answer it for you. And that's it. So really, we're just adding a little bit of zhuzh to the program here at Dear Matchmaker. We are helping both men and women. And we're going to do this not only with the topics that we bring to you to help guide you, with the amazing guests that we're going to continue to bring to you, but also by answering your questions. So I'm excited and I'm thrilled. And it all came together for me when I had more and more men listening to the podcast and then telling me that they've listened to the podcast, and it sparked more questions and they were asking me questions. And I'm getting so much information because even single women are like, why aren't you helping men? And so here we are to help both men and women. And I want to answer your questions because I want you both to benefit from each other's answers, from the answers that I give to one another, because we all can learn from one another, right? So if you have a question that you would like for me to read on air and answer it here, please make sure and send me an email, kat@theheartagency.com, or the contact us form at the website, or you can just DM me. And of course, it remains anonymous. No one needs to, I will not reveal your identity. Just let me help you, and then let us help others. Yeah. Because that's what really all of this is about. So I've been super excited about it, and I've been kind of sitting on it for a while, and I'm like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. So here we are, which leads me into today's question, which I had a woman in my office. Coincidentally, I had a woman in my office and I had a man DM me. It's kind of the same question, to answer it differently to the man and to the woman. And so I want to share with you the question, the problem, and I want to share with you the answers that I gave to both of them. So the woman came to me and she said that she doesn't want to online date, which, by the way, I'm going to do an entire episode about online dating and the more information that I keep finding out about it, which is even confirming even more so why I became a matchmaker. So stay tuned for that upcoming episode. I'm still gathering my research. I'm reading this incredible book that talks about online dating and talks about communicating and the lack of communication in online dating. At any rate, it's coming your way. But I had this beautiful soul sitting in my office talking to me about how she doesn't want to online date, but she wants to put herself out there. And she does in a variety of different ways with different work events and networking events. And she's on all these different committees. And she wants to know how she can approach someone. And women think that this is like a new age thing, and it's not. Women approaching men or giving men hints has been around for a very long time. And I think I've mentioned it in an episode in the past, but it's called white handkerchief, like back in the Victorian days, where she used to walk by and drop her white handkerchief to let him know that she's interested. This isn't a new thing. It's only society that's put all the pressure upon men, that men are the ones that have to approach. And then women have this understanding that no, it's the men that have to let us know that they're interested. No, it's the 21st century. Hair flip. You have as a woman, yes, you can approach. But here's the thing, both men and women, there is both a fear of rejection. It's real. And men, are they probably more used to it in this kind of circumstance? Yeah, because society says the men are the ones that always have to do the approaching, but it's not true. Women can also do the approaching, but the fear of rejection is real. So how do you know whether or not you can approach? It all comes down to one thing. Have you had some kind of interaction with them to where it makes you think that possibly the other party could be interested? Now, white handkerchief, right? She would walk by, she would drop her white handkerchief. If he picked it up, then yeah, he's interested. If he didn't pick it up, yeah, okay, he's not interested. If you're at an event and you're looking at someone and you're like, wow, I really wonder if they're single. I wonder if they might possibly be interested. It all comes down to sending signals. And the one signal that you can do if you're looking across the room, and this is what I told her, is eye contact. Giving them eye contact. If they look at you, and then second, if there's a smile that's included, then that is like the gateway of, yes, I see you. Yes, I'm smiling at you. Yes, I'm interested. And therefore, it's time. You can go ahead and have the approach. Now, don't go into it with the end in mind. Okay. So you don't want to go into it being like, okay, I'm going to approach, I'm going to ask him out, or maybe he'll eventually ask me out. You go into it just with the idea and the knowing that you're there to make a connection. Because what happens is that if it doesn't transpire and if it doesn't come to fruition, if it doesn't lead to a date, then you're like, I did it. I stepped outside of the box. I approached them. We had a conversation. And maybe it didn't end the way I wanted it to, but at any rate, we were able to make a connection. And this really goes hand in hand for both men and women. That if you feel like you're getting signals and you go to approach and it doesn't come to the conclusion that you wanted it to, it's okay, because you stepped outside of the box, you opened up, you went and had a conversation, and you made a connection. And that's a win. Now, a question that she had about that, and I'm going to go into the gentleman's question just a minute. That's the same topic. She said, well, what if they're too shy? Because she's an extrovert, and she has, people always say that opposites attract. They don't. Please, please, please. Opposites do not attract. It depends on what you're talking about as far as opposites are concerned. But an extreme extrovert and an extreme introvert, no, it may be kind of exciting at first, but the extroverted person is going to always want to go out and do things, while the introverted person is always going to want to stay home. And I promise you, it's going to create conflict within that relationship. Promise. I promise. So she was claiming that maybe the guy is too introverted to make eye contact or to smile, or too intimidated. And then I tell her, as an extrovert, that's not your person. Then it's a no. If you're not getting some kind of energy exchange, whether he's intimidated by you or not, that's a no. That's telling you that that's a no. Now, as far as the gentleman is concerned, he approached me and said that he goes to this place about twice a month. And there's a woman who works there that he's very interested in, that he would like to give his number to. And my question to him was, have you ever had a conversation with her? Have you ever made eye contact? Has there ever been an initial that she was telling you yes in order to give you the sign that you need to give your phone number? And he said no. Then I told him, please do not approach her. Don't approach her. If you're not getting any signals just by going up to someone and being like, hey, I'm interested in you, here's my phone number, unless you're getting some type of energy exchange, which that happens too. And if you've listened to my episode, I've talked about women flirting, but this goes hand in hand for men too. You have to have some kind of signal that they're interested. Even if it is approaching and possibly doing small talk, if maybe there hasn't been an energy exchange or eye contact or a smile, you can still approach. And if you're brave enough and if you're extroverted enough, you could still approach and have a conversation. But if you're still not getting that feeling, do not drop your phone number, especially if you've never had a conversation with them. And there's never really been any kind of flirty exchange. No, dropping your phone number is not a good idea. So please don't do that either. So if you're wondering, if you're out and about, should I approach, should I not approach? There is really only way to tell is if you're making eye contact and there is a smile, no matter if the person is shy, if they're intimidated by you, because even if you are super intimidated, is this somebody that you want to be a potential partner in your life anyway? Someone who's really intimidated by you? Probably not, because it's going to tell you that they are insecure. It's going to tell you that maybe possibly you're going to have that conversation where they're going to be like, I can't believe someone like you approached someone like me. And that's already telling you that maybe you shouldn't approach them to begin with. So the whole, like, he's intimidated or she's intimidated, that whole thing. Yeah, that's not a thing. Not a thing. Not a thing. And if they are intimidated by you, it's different being like in awe of someone or mesmerized by someone. Intimidated? No, that's not a good way to start a partnership. Do you agree? Or a courtship? No, it's not. So Yeah, different answers, different situations. And I think that at any rate, it all comes down to being able to put yourself out there enough to seek out a connection with somebody across the room. Are you having, and we're not even going to talk about like approaching someone online. We'll talk about that at another time. But this is in person. These are in person because more and more people are connecting more now that things are opening back up and people are getting back out there. And so I just want to help you. Like, how do you know whether or not to approach? And it's a different answer depending on the situation and depending on whether it was a male or female, right? So I hope that helps. I hope that helped you today here on our show, Dear Matchmaker. So thank you so much for listening and for being here with me as we continuously evolve and grow. Because we actually have had more downloads this month than we have had in the last 4 months. So I'm incredibly excited that you all are here. And if you know a single in your life who could benefit from what we teach here, please feel free to share. Please feel free to share the show. All right, my love. That's it. That's all I have for you today. So if you are watching on YouTube, what's up? Please make sure to like, subscribe, follow, and click the bell so you are the first to know every time we have a new episode that is uploaded. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, thank you. And if you don't mind, would you rate and review this episode just so that other people can find us? And if you are on Instagram or Facebook, come and follow me at Cantrill. And if you have Clubhouse, if you know what that is, come and find me over there. I'm going to start offering Dear Matchmaker chat rooms where you can come in and you can ask me your question right then and there. So stay tuned to that. I will make sure and let you all know when that's to come. Still kind of experimenting with it. So, all right, my friends, thank you for being here on Dear Matchmaker. And remember, true love is waiting for you. And I will see you next time. Bye.